What's good, Vikings faithful? Skull. It's your boy. Hyped up and ready to dive into the latest Minnesota Vikings news that's got us all buzzing. Picture this. TJ Hockenson, our Pro Bowl tight end, is poised to dominate in 2025, and the NFL world is taking notice. After a rollercoaster 2024 season, could this be the year he cements himself as the league's top tight end? Let's break it down with the latest Vikings news and find out why Hockenson is ready to unleash chaos. Are you pumped for this? Let's go. Hockenson's journey with the Vikings has been nothing short of epic since that blockbuster trade in 2022. General manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah rolled the dice. And boy, did it pay off. Despite a tough 2024 season where he battled back from a brutal ACL injury, Hockenson still showed flashes of brilliance. According to Heavy.com, he's one of 3 Pro Bowlers in our stacked offense, and the hype is real for a monster 2025. So what's the deal with his ranking drop? Why is an NFL coordinator so high on him? And how does J.J. McCarthy fit into this? Stick with me through these 10 scenes as we unpack the Vikings news and get you ready for a season that could redefine Hockenson's legacy. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What's your bold prediction for TJ this year? Hey, Vikings fans! Let's talk about that 2022 trade that brought TJ Hockenson to Minnesota. When Kwesi Adofo-Mensah pulled the trigger at the trade deadline, some doubted the move, but Hockenson proved he's worth every penny. In just 8 games that year, he racked up 444 yards on 52 catches, outpacing even Kyle Rudolph's best stretches. That's the kind of impact we're talking about. Fast forward to 2023, and Hockenson was a beast before his injury, hauling in 95 receptions for 960 yards and 5 touchdowns. Those numbers put him second among tight ends in receptions and third in yards league-wide. Vikings news can't stop raving about how he's become a cornerstone of our offense. Have you seen those contested catches? The dude's hands are glue. But here's the kicker. Despite that monster season, 2024 wasn't kind to TJ. A torn ACL and MCL sidelined him for half the year, and his stats took a hit. No touchdowns until the playoffs. So why are we so hyped for 2025? Let's dive deeper into the Minnesota Vikings story and find out what's got analysts buzzing. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of Hockenson's 2024 season. Coming off that devastating knee injury in December 2023, TJ returned mid-season, and let's be real, it wasn't his best. He posted the lowest catch rate of his career and averaged his fewest fantasy points per game since his rookie year. THeavyKingGauge.com even had a fantasy analyst hitting the brakes on the hype, citing concerns about his role in an evolving offense. But hold up, Vikings fans. Don't sleep on our guy. Despite the struggles, Hockenson still managed a solid 85.5 PFF grade in his second game back, with 8 receptions for 72 yards and 6 first downs. That's elite production for a guy shaking off rust. PFF_Vikings had him ranked 3rd among tight ends for that performance. Who else is impressed by his grit? The key here is trust in his body. An NFL coordinator told Yardbarker that Hockenson's confidence in his recovery is critical, and with a full offseason to heal, he's ready to explode. What do you think? Can TJ reclaim that 2023 form and dominate in 2025? Let's keep rolling. Now, let's talk rankings, because Vikings news is buzzing about TJ's spot in ESPN's latest tight end rankings. Jeremy Fowler's annual list dropped, and Hockenson slipped to 7th overall, down from 5th in 2024. A little low, right? But it makes sense when you consider he played only half the season and was still rehabbing that ACL. Yardbarker broke it down perfectly. His production dipped slightly, partly because Justin Jefferson missed 7 games. Here's the thing. 7th is still elite. Hockenson's one of the top 10 tight ends in the NFL, according to an ESPN survey. And that's no small feat in a league stacked with talent. Heavy.com reminds us he's a 2-time Pro Bowler, 2020, 2022, who's only getting better. How many tight ends can match his combo of hands, athleticism, and smarts? So why the drop? It's all about those missing touchdowns and a new quarterback in the mix. But with a full year post-surgery, the Minnesota Vikings are banking on TJ to take it to another level. Drop a comment. Where do you think Hockenson should rank among tight ends? Let's keep the Skull vibes going. Let's shift gears to the touchdown drought. Yeah, it's a sore spot. In 2024, Hockenson didn't find the end zone until the wild card round against the Rams. Ouch! Yardbarker notes that touchdowns are random by nature, but for a guy who had 5 in 2023, that's a tough pill to swallow. The absence of Justin Jefferson for half the season didn't help, as defenses keyed in on TJ. But here's where it gets juicy. Hockenson's production outside of touchdowns was still solid. He was targeted heavily, showing he's a trusted weapon in Kevin O'Connell's offense. Vikings News highlights how his 1.7 yards per route run in 2024 was a step back from his 2.0 in 2023. But that's still better than most tight ends in the league. Now, with Jefferson back and healthy, plus a full offseason to rebuild his explosiveness, Hockenson's ready to feast in the red zone. Vikings fans, are you feeling the hype? Can TJ double his touchdown count in 2025? Let's talk about the quarterback who could make it happen next. Enter J.J. McCarthy, the Minnesota Vikings quarterback of the future. Our 2025 first-round pick is a big question mark, but TJ Hockenson is all in on the rookie. Heavy.com reported that TJ is optimistic about catching passes from JJ, and why wouldn't he be? At Michigan, McCarthy targeted tight ends on 26% of his passes. Music to Hockenson's ears. Hockenson's been vocal about JJ's work ethic, calling him a perfectionist who's got that QB1 mentality. Daily Norseman quoted TJ saying, "He really wants everything to be perfect, and that's how you need to be in this league. That connection could be a game changer for our offense." What's your take? Will JJ and TJ become the next dynamic duo? But here's the catch. McCarthy's coming off a meniscus injury that wiped out his entire rookie season. Vikings News is buzzing with questions about his development, and Hockenson's success could hinge on JJ's ability to gel with the offense. Let's unpack how this partnership could elevate TJ to new heights. So, how does JJ McCarthy maximize TJ Hockenson in 2025? It's all about chemistry. THeavyKingGauge.com points out that a reliable tight end is a young quarterback's best friend, and Hockenson's athleticism and sure hands make him the perfect safety valve. In 2023, when Kirk Cousins went down, TJ's production didn't waver, proving he can thrive with any QB. At the annual Tight End Summit in Nashville, hosted by stars like George Kittle and Travis Kelce, Hockenson worked on his craft and built connections. Daily Norseman noted that TJ, a Nashville resident in the offseason, called the experience invaluable for his growth. That kind of dedication screams breakout season. What skills do you think TJ picked up at TU to dominate in 2025? With McCarthy's knack for targeting tight ends and Hockenson's hunger to prove himself, the Minnesota Vikings offense could be unstoppable. Vikings News is hyping this duo as a key to our success. Let's dive into the bigger picture. How does TJ fit into our stacked receiving core? Speaking of stacked, let's talk about the Vikings' offensive firepower. Sporting News ranked our pass-catching group 6th in the NFL, led by Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and, of course, TJ Hockenson. Add in Aaron Jones and rookie Ty Felton, and we've got one of the deepest skill groups in the league. Who's your favorite weapon in this offense? Hockenson's role in this group is massive. PFF gave our receiving core an 82.1 grade in 2024, with TJ posting a 70.0 plus receiving grade despite his injury. His ability to stretch the field and create mismatches is why Vikings News can't stop talking about him. But there's a catch. Jordan Addison's potential suspension could shake things up. If Addison misses time, Hockenson could see even more targets. ESPN noted that his efficiency dipped in 2024, but with Jefferson drawing coverage and a healthy TJ, the Minnesota Vikings are set to light up scoreboards. Let's explore why analysts are so confident in a rebound year. Why is 2025 the year of the Hockenson rebound? It's all about recovery and opportunity. THeavyKingGauge.com highlighted that TJ is now further removed from his ACL injury, giving him a full offseason to regain his explosiveness. ESPN's Eric Karabell even predicted a top 5 fantasy finish for Hockenson, citing his pre-injury dominance. Who's drafting TJ in their fantasy league? Before his injury in 2023, Hockenson was a top 5 fantasy tight end in every format, with 100-plus targets in 3 of his last 4 seasons. Vikings news is buzzing about his potential to return to that level, especially with J.J. McCarthy leaning on him. A reliable tight end can make or break a young QB, think Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. But there's skepticism too. Bleacher Report's Gary Davenport called Hockenson a fantasy bust candidate, citing uncertainty around McCarthy's growth and the crowded offense. Vikings fans, what's your take? Will TJ silence the doubters and ball out in 2025? Let's keep the momentum going. Let's zoom out to the Minnesota Vikings 2025 outlook. After a surprising 14-3 season in 2024 led by Sam Darnold, expectations are sky high. SI.com projects an 8.5 win total, but with a brutal schedule, 9 games against 2024 playoff teams, it won't be easy. Hockenson's resurgence could be the X factor. How many wins are you predicting for the Vikings? Our offense is loaded with Pro Bowlers like Jefferson, Jones, and Hockenson, plus solid tackles and a revamped O-line. Vikings news can't stop hyping our potential, but it all hinges on McCarthy's growth and TJ's ability to stay healthy. ESPN gave our offseason a middling grade, but the talent is undeniable. Hockenson's role as a leader will be key. His optimism about JJ and his work at the Tight End Summit show he's all in. Heavy.com says TJ could be a go-to guy for McCarthy, and I'm here for it. What's the one thing you want to see from this offense in 2025? Drop it in the comments. All right, Vikings Nation, it's time to wrap this up with a Skol chant. TJ Hockenson is primed for a monster 2025, and the Minnesota Vikings are ready to make noise. From his elite hands to his connection with J.J. McCarthy, TJ's got the tools to dominate. Vikings news is all over this. Hockenson's rebound could be the key to a playoff run. Are you as hyped as I am? Let's dream big. What if TJ hits double-digit touchdowns and earns another Pro Bowl nod? With Jefferson, Addison, and Jones alongside him, this offense could be a nightmare for defenses. But we need your voice. Drop your bold predictions for TJ and the Vikings in the comments below. If you love this deep dive into the latest Vikings news, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Share this with your fellow Vikings fans, and let's keep the Skol spirit alive. Until next time, keep bleeding purple, and let's go get that Super Bowl. Skol.